uh, concepts. Okay. So last class we have seen basics of Java, methods, control structures, and variables all we completed. So these are very crucial. So make sure you practice some programs and that will help you in the interviews also. So what is object-oriented programming language means? So we call that OOPS concepts, object-oriented programming concepts. So that means object-oriented programming is a approach. So where everything will be treated as an object, and every object has a state and behavior. And the state you will write with the instance variables, and behavior will be written using instance methods. So, and here, so one class will be there, that is a template. Based on that template, you can create multiple objects. And so what is an object? So object is an entity that has a state and behavior, and also an instance of a class is called an object. So an instance of a class is called object. So it represents the real world entity. It has its own state and behavior. So like example, you take a class, car class. So you can create a multiple objects of different cars, my car, your car, or different car you can create. Every object has its own attributes and behaviors. So like that we have a dog, cat, vehicle. These are physical entities, right? Every physical entity is an object. And you take one of these things, and they have like a dog you take. So dog has its age, color, name, behaviors. That the states, age, color, name is a state. Behaviors is what it is going to do. So behavior is like eating, sleeping, running. These are the behaviors of a dog. So what is a state? State tells us how the object looks or what properties it has. How the object looks and what properties it has. Behavior tells us what the object does. So state tells us how the object looks and what properties it has. Behavior tells you what the object does. And these are the two things every object is going to have. So we can represent a real world entity in the software program. In the software world, you can represent so by defining states and behaviors. So software objects are the actual representation of real world entities. And when you create object, so memory is allocated in the RAM whenever creating a logical entity. So that's an object. So object, another definition, an instance of a class is called an object. An instance of a class is called object. So instantiating a class means same as creating an object. Instantiating an object is nothing but creating an object. So basically, creating an object is nothing but, so the reference type should be there. So that will store in the reference variable, and that reference variable type should be same class type or a super class type. So and we'll understand this, how the reference object type, same class type or super class type, we'll understand one by one. So what are classes? So we already discussed that class is a blueprint or template. So it has many attributes and properties and behaviors. So every object is going to have properties and behaviors, and so that object is created based on the class only. If class is there, then only object exists. So class is a template or blueprint from which objects are created. From which objects are created. So classes define states as a instance variables and behaviors as a instance methods. Behaviors as a instance methods. So instance variables are also known as member variables. Instance variables are also known as member variables. So you know already instance variables, static and local variables, right? So instance variable also called member variables. Class doesn't consume any space. When you create a class, it won't occupy memory. When you create object, so memory will be occupied. So you will declare a class with the class keyword, and you will create a object with a new keyword. So we know all these concepts. So class, no, you can have only one class. So duplicate class are not allowed, but one class can be used to create multiple objects. You can create multiple objects with a single class. Each object is independent. Simple, if you see the cat class, so those instance variables are name, age, color, breed. These are the 4 instance variables. So instance methods, so sleep, play, feed. So these are the instance methods. So instance methods, so sleep, play, feed. Sleep, play, and feed. So these are the instance methods. So how it will work. Let's create a class and then how we can create. See, I want to represent these 2 cats. This is the one cat and this is the another cat. So how will you represent? See, one class, so this Thor cat is sleeping and this cat is playing. So these are 2 different entities you need to represent with one class. How can you represent that? So do we need to create 2 classes? Not required, right? You don't need to create 2 classes. So each class you cannot create one. Okay, so that's so you don't need to create a multiple classes for the same so task, right? You're just doing, so you just create a one class and you can do multiple objects. So you can represent n number of cats. So that's this how it will work in the software. So let's go and create. So maybe I'll introduce VS Code. VS Code we haven't seen, right? So you can use a VS Code. Okay, you can use a VS Code. So even VS Code also you can write the programs. You can write the programs. So I'll write so one folder I'm creating. So I'm going to open that. See, so core Java OOPS concepts, one project I create. Basically, a folder is nothing but here a project. Okay. So a folder is nothing but a project. This is the one of the another VA editor, editor, VS Code. So editor we call this. So this is the another famous so VS Code editor where you can write the uh, programs, any kind of files you can create here easily, and you can. So let's create. I want to create a file here. So some Java file. So I'll create a simple file. Maybe I'll create a one folder. I'll create first. So package. I'm creating a package. Oops. Programs. So then you can create a class, new file. What is that new file? You can create cat.java. See the cat.java created. So you can create public class. So cat. So main method you can put. So this is the main method. Automatically you don't need to write everything. Right? But so I want to create here first instance variables. If you are not familiar with this, you can use a still Eclipse only, but try to use different editors so that it will be easy. Even I will introduce IntelliJ also so that it will be easy for you to wherever you go. These three types only people will use: IntelliJ, VS Code, and Eclipse. So any one of them you can use. So string name, string color, int is, string breed. So these are the 4 instance variables we declared. And we have methods. So let's declare a few methods. So public, so void sleeping, simple print statement I'm writing. So that's it. Next. Then we have public. So void, and so you can put one more method. So eating something. Okay. So now these are the few instance methods and instance variables. See, I didn't give values here. Why? For each object, you can refer same variables and you can give values while creating object. So now I'm going to create object for this class. So each cat I'll represent. Cat Thor obj equal to new cat. New cat. So this, see now Thor obj dot. So you can set the is 3. Thor object dot name equal to, so Thor object dot, so breed, and so Thor object dot color, so white. So then you call Thor related method. So you call, so this is now automatically the values are going and storing there. So the values are going and storing there. This value will go store in the this memory. So this memory, and name value will go and store in the this memory. So in the heap memory, these values will go in that specific memory. So now you can call Thor is sleeping, right? Thor object dot sleeping. That's it. So you can independently call, and also you can, if you want print, you can print it. So you want to print. So you want to print Thor obj dot name. Same way you can print so Thor obj dot is Thor obj dot breed Thor obj dot color. Okay, so this is the how you can print those. And I want to create another object. So let's create another object. So let's create another object. So cat Rambo obj object new cat. So this will create another memory. So here one memory, and this is another memory. Every time new cat means a new object. So in this memory, all these variables and data will go and store. In this memory, the next whatever the data you are storing, that will go and store this. So you can call similar here and just replace. instead of sleeping, playing. So Rambo. Rambo and so you can give the different breed, Russian blue, whatever. So just give the values, whatever the values you want. And this is brown. Just change this object reference, okay? Object reference you changed. So say Rambo. So each object, it is different, right? Each object, it is different. So just you can run this program. See run Java. There is a run Java option you can see. You can see the output. So take that. Want to continue. Fix this. Okay, so you can do one thing. First, no, this is directly it won't run. What you can do, you can go to terminal, open a terminal. Okay, so new terminal. Here first you compile the code, right? So how to compile? Java C and cat, but you have to go core Java. Oops, there, yeah, save cat.java. Java C. Java C is just compiles, right? It compiles. Okay, let's understand. So what is there? Oops program. See oops program. The directory we have to go to oops programs next. See core Java, we are in the core Java, but we have to go to this oops programs also. Then once you go to oops programs, then Java C first compilation. Java C will compile the code. See this cat.java, right? So you can compile Java C cat.java. See it compiles. See dot class file is generated. Can you see here? Dot class file. So dot class file is the bytecode file, as I mentioned already in the initial time. So dot Java, dot class, both when you compile the code and dot class file will generate. Now you need to run. To run, you need to use a Java command, Java cat. See now cat is sleeping, Thor, and this is the first object data. Second object data, this one. So each object you can represent for the same variables, each object. So you can set a different data. So that's how you can differentiate. So object wise data you can set with a single class, same variables. So as I mentioned in one of the instance variable topic time, each object, same copy of variables will store in that object. So this for one object, this object, same variables. This entire variables will go and store in that memory. For this second object also, same variables will go and store, even variables and methods will go and store. But if that object members, if you want to call, you need to use that reference variable. That's what we did, right? That reference variable dot that memory members. So that memory members. So basically, this is how it will be. So in the heap memory, this is the local. So this is a local variable, right? So this instance, this is the local variable, this part. This is the reference variable, but this reference variable is local variable. So it is local to this method only. It is local to that method. So how it will store here is, so there is a so it will store like this. So this is the heap memory. Okay. So this is the heap memory. So this is the stack memory. So in the heap memories, how many objects we created? Two objects. One is this object and this is the another object. So this object reference. So this object reference, right? So you're calling the method. So 2 frames it will create. So why 2 frames? This is the main method frame. Each method 1 frame will create. This is the main method. So this is the main method part. And this is the what is the playing? So which order first we call the sleeping, right? Sleeping method frame. And this method is playing method frame. So all the local data will store, but in the main method, these reference variables are in the main method. So what are the reference variables? Rambo object, Thor object first, right? Thor obj cat. That's a one. And then another one is Rambo. Rambo object cat. So now see, this will represent this memory. That will represent, so this memory, and this will represent this memory. So in this memory, you have, so this data, this set of data. So this set of data will be there. So what is that? Age. So age will go and store here. So name equal to star. Age equal to 3. And breed, we are given color equal to, so whatever you have given, white or something we have given, right? So that then the methods, all the methods will be there. Playing method, sleeping method, eating method. So then we have here same variables. Same variables will go and store here also. So what are this? Name, Rambo, is 4, I think we stored, and breed, Russian blue, color brown. So this every object data independent. If you want to call this data, you have to use this reference variable because this is a local to main method. This is the reference variable. If you want to call this data, you have to call this reference variable dot these fields. If you want to call this data, this reference variable dot this, because this address, this is has some address, this has some address, this has some address. So suppose, and this has some heap, no, hash code value. So hash code value is maybe 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So this hash code value is nothing but a memory address. So this hash code value so like this. So every object hash code value is different. Every object hash code value. So this is the heap memory when you create object. Now this one is new cat. You created a new cat, right? So this is the new cat. And this is the another new cat. So and this is the local variable. Local to this main method. So this method inside whatever this frame and this frame, see first which frame will execute main method. So first that one will execute, right? This sleeping will execute. So once it is executed, this will be cleared off. This will be cleared off from this frame will be cleared. Next after this will execute and this will be cleared off. Next main method will be cleared off. So like this, it will clear off each frame once this method is over. So that's the local variable concept means. Okay. So frame stack. So in the stack memory, all the local data will store and each method calling one frame will create. Once that frame method is execution over and that frame will be destroyed and destroyed and destroyed and destroyed. So this is the how data will be so cleared off in the variables. So in the memory, stack memory, how it will clear. But here the data will be there. Here always data will be there in the heap memory until you destroy the object. Until this new cat is you made a nullify. Until that this data is available. But local data will be cleared off once that method execution is over. This is what we covered in the so variable topic. But I now objects and class concept has come. I'm explaining again this how the data will store. Whenever you create one more object will store here. See, if I create one more object, so it will go create a one more object here. And one more object, how many objects you create? Every time new memory. This is the new memory, this is the new memory, new memory, new memory. So it keep occupying the heap memory. So whenever you create a new and class name, parenthesis, it will create a new memory in the heap. So that's the how the data will store in the heap memory. So is this clear? Any questions here? Okay. So if you're good, let's so clear up all these things and let's go and understand. So this entire one class, you can represent multiple objects. So with a single class, you can represent multiple objects. That's what. So that's all about object and class. So class is a logical entity. Object is a physical entity. Class is a blueprint or a template which is used to create objects. Object is an instance of a class. When you create object, memory will be occupied. When you create a class, memory doesn't occupy. Class is created using class keyword. Object is created using new keyword. So you can create only one class, but you can create a n number of objects with a single class. So these are the difference between class and object. Please go through this and do a selfie video tomorrow. Talk about what is class, what is object, and so object difference between class and object. And so you can, even if you want to know what is the memory of this object, just call that object reference dot system dot out dot println